Sledge, why are you looking at me like that? Alright. Hello everyone and welcome back. Today's video is pretty exciting, in my opinion at least. Some products that I've been anxiously waiting to come in the mail. They were a really hot topic on Instagram and I immediately wanted to do this video. So today we are going to be talking about the Huda Beauty Pastel Obsessions, as well as, it's hard to hold all these at one time, the Colourpop Pastel Palettes. And kind of diving a little bit deeper into all these palettes and talking about similarities, differences, formulas, timelines, all the nitty-gritty, because when Huda Beauty released that they were making these and coming out with a little pastel addition to their Obsessions line, oh my goodness, the comments were like, people were going berserk, saying like they copied Colourpop, people were saying they didn't copy Colourpop. I mean, everyone and their mom and Jeffree Star was getting involved in the conversation, so I thought it would be fun to sit down and actually kind of dive deeper into the whole topic. So that's what we're gonna do today. Before we get into it, if you're new here, hi, my name is Jackie and welcome to JSanchez Beauty. I hope you enjoy what you see here today, and if you do, please make sure to subscribe before you leave. But if you want to learn a little bit more about the Colourpop and the Huda Beauty and all that pastel jazz, then just keep watching. All right. So, start off with, let's kind of touch base about the nitty-gritty of each of these brands and their 9-pan lines. So, Huda Beauty actually released the 9-pan line first in regards to the two of them. Huda Beauty released their first Obsessions palettes in November of 2017, and that was their electric, mauve, smoky, and warm brown line. So they had 4 palettes in their first launch, 2017, like right before the holidays began. And Colourpop actually didn't release their first 9-pan palette until the next year in June of 2018. So right in the heart of summer, they released the Sol and Mar palettes, which are not monochromatic, but they were their first 9-pan palettes. And right after that, they started coming out with, you know, the red, blue, orange, yellow, yada, 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 all the 9-pan monochromatic palettes like these. Huda Beauty currently has 20 9-pan palettes available, and that ranges from their original Obsessions to the Gem line, the Neon line, and now the Pastel line, whereas Colourpop has 21 in their line, so they have one more, I guess. They have all the monochromatic ones, a couple different shades of like purples and pinks, the Sol and Mar palettes. They have the Caution one, they have the Anna and Elsa, which are also 9-pan palettes. But as far as price goes, I know that's a big thing for a lot of us. The Huda Beauty palettes sell individually at $29 a piece. They don't sell these in a bundle as of right now. Maybe they will, I don't know. But as of right now, $29 a piece. The Colourpop ones are on the cheaper side. They are $12 a piece. They have a couple different bundles, but you can get the Baby Got Peach, the Lilac, and the Mint in their teen pastel bundle, and that sells for $34. So these are clearly cheaper. It's Colourpop versus Huda Beauty. Who's surprised? Not me. But we're going to talk a little bit more about how these palettes are similar, how they're different, the colors, the swatches. We're going to use them on the eyes and things like that, and really dive in and compare them and see which one is better, which one's worth it. Maybe they're the same. I don't know. We'll see. Let's start with Huda Beauty. So in the new Obsessions pastel line, they came out with 3 different little groups. This is the Mint Obsessions 9-pan palette. You get 3 matte mint shades, a matte peach, and then these are supposed to consist of I keep saying Huda. It's Huda. On Huda's Instagram and China's Instagram said that there's some new formulas in these palettes, including like topper shades, jelly formulas. I will say after swatching these 3 shades are like very topper-esque. They're not like super, like they look really vibrant, but it's definitely like more of a topper. Like you can't really see it. It's kind of more of like a little extra little something that you would put on top, I'm assuming, since they said that's a topper shade. And then we'll put that right next to the Colourpop one. This is the Mint to Be palette, side by side. These ones are clearly a little bit bigger than these, but they are slimmer, as you can see. And just by looking at these right off the bat, obviously the Colourpop one is completely monochromatic, whereas the Huda one has little touches of peach in there, so maybe if you want to experiment with some mint, but you want to make sure that there's some wearable colors in there in case you don't want to go full on mint right away. They have a couple like peachy tones in there for you as well, which I do think complement the mints really nicely, but I'm also a big fan of like the whole monochromatic thing. The second one that Huda came out with is the Pastels Lilac Obsession. Here you can see that they've got some mattes as well, some of the toppers, jellies, and shimmers, and then they've got a couple more like neutral-ish type shades in there for those of you who don't want to go full monochromatic right away. Here is the Lilac You Alot palette from Colourpop. Again, Colourpop really went hard on the monochromatic vibe with all of these palettes, which I really appreciate because I feel like if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it fully. But I can also appreciate how, like I said with the mint palettes, if you're someone who wants to experiment with these shades, but you want to make sure there's some colors in the palette that you're gonna use no matter what, it does have a couple neutrals for you. So it's gonna be all based on preference as far as the color story goes. But here is the comparison side by side. I'll be inserting swatches as well, at least for the mint and the lilac palettes, because these are the two that are really similar. As far as the next one goes, Colourpop doesn't have one that's exactly the same as Huda's. So. The third one that Huda came out with, this is the Pastels Rose Obsessions palette. Now, Colourpop doesn't make one like this. They make a strawberry one and they make a peach one as far as the pastel lines go, but neither of them compared to the rose ones. This one is completely by itself Huda. Like, she doesn't have one that would compare to a Colourpop one. This is the Strawberry Shake palette, and then this is the Baby Got Peach palette. As you can see, they're not similar at all. So this one is completely unique by Huda. I really like that this has some of these yellows in it. Now this one doesn't have any more like neutral shades. I guess you could say these mauves are more on like the neutral side of things, but as far as actual like browns and things, like neutral shades, this doesn't really have any, so this would be one that you'd go into really wanting to dive into more pinks and yellows. So what I want to do now is kind of take the mint and the lilac palettes of each brand and see if we can create a similar look on each side of the face with these palettes using, you know, Huda on one side and Colourpop on the other and see how similar the shades in them actually are and see how they apply on the eye, see if one formula is better than the other, and really dive a little bit deeper into the actual palette itself. All right, starting with the Huda Mint Obsessions palette, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, which it does not have a name, so that stinks. I like when there's a name. Anyways, we're just gonna go in with this one right here, put that all over the crease. Right off the bat, this is very pigmented and it looks really nice, but I will say there's a lot of like fallout just like dusting off my eye. Now, I have worked with both Colourpop and Huda shadows before and I've enjoyed both of them very much, so I'm not assuming, I'd assume I'd feel the same way and think I like both, but again, we're really trying to compare the two of them side by side right now, so who knows? Really just building this up in the crease area. Now, on the Colourpop side, I'm gonna take the shade Get Fresh, put that in the crease. The shade Get Fresh is slightly lighter than the Huda Beauty matte shade, but they both are performing very nicely. Keep poking myself in the eye, so that's not good, but that's not the shadow's fault. That's the user's fault. All right, now on the Huda side, I'm gonna take this shade right up here. It's probably the deepest mint shade in the whole Huda side, but looks like a really pretty like teal minty color, and we're just taking that in the crease a little bit lower than the first shade. I am using different brushes for each eye, so don't worry, we're not mixing anything. Now on the Colourpop side, I'm gonna use the shade Ice Cold and do the same thing. All right, this shade on the Colourpop side is definitely pulling more mint green, rather than on the Huda side, it's a little bit pulling more of like a blue-green teal, if that makes any sense. So they're definitely not like the exact same shades. They're similar, but not the same. I'm just gonna add a little bit more on that Huda side with a different brush. This is like the exact same brush, but I have two of them. It looks like I'm using the same brush. Yeah, I just wanted to deepen that up so you can really see, like, this one is a little bit more green, this one's a little bit more blue. All right, I think I want to dabble into some lilac shades. All right, moving into some lilac tones. I'm gonna take this shade, which is the deepest purple in the Huda Lilac Obsessions palette, and put that on the outer corner and into the crease a bit. Woo! Dusty. These are really nice and pigmented, but they do have a lot of fallout in the pan, and like, I don't know if you can see that, like, if that was a word, it wasn't. Now, personally, fallout isn't something that really bothers me too much, as long as it's not like crazy and like messing with my eye look or messing with the way the eyeshadows apply. It doesn't bother me at all. But for some people, it might bother you a lot. I don't know. That's what I'm letting you know. I need to tweeze my eyebrows. Should have done that before filming this video. I'm just really building it up on the outer corner and then blending it into the crease about halfway in. I'm not taking it all the way across. And then I'm just gonna take that deeper teal shade from the Mint palette and blend it out into the crease again. That way we make sure we're not losing it, but can still see everything. All right, diving into the Lilac You Alot palette. I'm gonna mix Iffy and Zoned Out together and see if that will create kind of what the other side's looking like. Actually, yeah, that is looking similar. I thought that was gonna be too deep. I was wrong. Once again, just building it on the outer corner, blending it halfway across into the crease. If you've never watched one of my videos before, I'm somebody who likes to really just kind of go little by little, because I love working with a lot of colors and just really creating what this should hopefully look like an effortless blend. You know, we can only do our best here. Now, I will say the Colourpop side is definitely, the purple's a bit deeper, because this shade Iffy is really a gorgeous, like, royal purple matte. So I mixed in Zoned Out with it just to see if I could lighten it up a little bit to get to that lightness of the Huda side. That's the one thing, is the Huda palettes don't really have any kind of like super deep shade. So if you're someone who really needs a deep shade in their palette, like that's something that you prefer to have with every single look, they might not be the palettes for you, because you might want to look at the Colourpop ones, because they usually have like a deeper type shade in there. I'm doing the same thing I did on the Huda side, so I'm taking Ice Cold on the Colourpop side, just trying to blend that out so we make sure we're not losing any of that beautiful shade. And then taking Get Fresh as well. Okay, let's try to find some similar shimmers. For the Huda side, I'm going to take the Lilac palette and take this shade right here on my finger. Working with Huda shadows, usually that's the best way that our shimmers work, because this is definitely more of like a jelly type formula. And I'm going to take this on the center of the lid and just try and blend that into that matte shade. I feel like I have to be careful, because if I like dig into it too much, I feel like the whole shadow is going to come apart. I'm trying to see if you can see what I mean. Like, if I move it around too much, like it looks like it's gonna come apart and I'm gonna lose half the shade, which would make me very sad, because this was $29. Kind of taking it onto the outer corner a little bit as well, but leaving that inner corner open. All right, gorgeous. Now let's wipe that off, because I don't want to be mixing any colors. For the Colourpop side, I'll take the Lilac palette and go in with Fluff, and that one's really, really soft. Careful with that one. Yeah, I'm going in with Fluff right on the center portion and outer corner of the lid. That is pretty. This one is very, very soft, so you have to be careful with this one, because if you go in with too much, it will have a lot of fallout. Yeah, like that's a lot of fallout. Like I said, I don't really mind fallout, but you might be somebody who really hates fallout, so you should know. That's gorgeous. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of Wake Me. This is a more duochrome type shade, and add that on top. see if that creates a little bit more similarity to the Huda side. Very nice. Okay, I really want to go in with a mint shade kind of on the inner portion of the lid and into the inner corner. So I'm going to take this like tie-dye type shade right here, put that on that more inner portion of the lid. Oh. Yeah. That is pretty. That is gorgeous. And then I'm going to take this top shade right here, put that on the inner corner and a little bit into the inner portion of the lid. I think this one is more of like a topper type shade, but it can still be like pretty vibrant, like in the inner corner if you pack it on. That is super pretty. Just gonna go ahead and put a little bit of that. Normally I don't use my finger for brow bone highlight, but we're going with it today. That's super pretty. All right, let's try and recreate that on the Colourpop side. Let me just clean off my fingers. Take a quick sip of Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is like my coffee. I drink it at like any time of the day. And my husband's like, it's 8 a.m. Why are you drinking Dr. Pepper? Because I want to. Let's go in with Minty. Put that on the inner portion of the lid. Whoa! That is beautiful. It is not the same as the other side, but it's beautiful. And then on my middle finger, I'm gonna take the shade Mojito Mami right on the inner corner. And I'll take that in the brow bone a little bit too. I'm just gonna finish up the lower lash line now. Taking that purple from the Huda side right on the outer portion of the lid. Oh, the lower lash line. And then taking the deep teal shade and blending that out. Just a smidge. And same thing on the Colourpop side, taking Iffy and Zoned Out together on the Colourpop side. I will say there is a lot more fallout on the Colourpop side than on the Huda Beauty side, but once again, doesn't bother me. As long as I can wipe it away and the look is all good, I'm happy. Taking Ice Cold from the Mint to Be palette and blending that out. There is some fallout, but I think because these shimmers were more of like a jelly formula and these are actual like more of like a glittery shimmer, that's why there's a little more fallout. All right, let me just put on some liner and mascara real quick and a lip, and we'll talk a little more. All right, let's talk about it. I have a lot of thoughts and opinions, and I want to say right off the bat, I personally, after playing with them and kind of comparing them, I don't think that one is better than the other. I think it's going to be based off of kind of your preference. I do think that the Colourpop ones are easier to work with than the Huda Beauty ones. Both of the mattes are absolutely gorgeous and blend out super easily. It's more of the shimmer shades. With the Colourpop ones, you do get some fallout, but they are bam shimmer, ready to go on all over the eye and super pretty right off the bat. Whereas the Huda Beauty ones are gorgeous, but with the jelly formulas and the topper formulas, it's definitely something that you have to kind of go in expecting that and knowing that you might have to work a little differently with them. If you're not someone who likes to use your fingers, it might not turn out as well. And if you're going and hoping every shimmer is just like bam, that shade you see in the pan, might not. I have in my inner corner one of those shades that I feel like is definitely more on the topper side. And in some angles you can see more of it than in others, whereas this one's just straight shimmer. So when it comes to price, you may want to go for the Colourpop if budget is something that you're trying to be conscious of, because it's $12 rather than $29 for the Huda Beauty ones. Once again, I personally like both formulas that I've worked with. I have a couple Colourpop palettes, I have a couple Huda Beauty palettes, and I haven't had any issues. If I'm being honest, I personally think that I will probably end up gravitating more towards the Colourpop ones, just because when I like to go for a monochromatic look, and I'm someone who loves matching like eyes to outfit, like very color coordinated type thing, then I want to go for a super monochromatic look with all of the minty shades or all the purple shades or all the pink shades. Whereas if you, like I said earlier, if you want to go for monochromatic but also want to make sure the palette's worth it and there's shades in there you know no matter what you're going to use, you might want to go for the Huda Beauty ones, because I do think it was a good idea for her to come out with like some other shades in there for people who maybe want to experiment with the monochromatic thing, but are kind of just dipping their toes in the water, not ready to dive in, especially with colors like this. I mean, mint and purple aren't always your most wearable looks. I personally don't care. I'll walk outside with any color I shop. But with that being said, both are great palettes. I don't think they're the same at all. I mean, this is the Huda Beauty side, this is the Colourpop side, and yes, they are similar vibes, but they're not the same at all. Like, I could definitely achieve a similar look, but I wouldn't go outside like this because it's very clear that my right and left eye are not exactly the same. But make your own opinions. This is just mine. Well, I hope that this video was beneficial if you've been kind of curious about the Huda Colourpop debate. 9-pan palettes have been around for a long time, I'm sure. I don't know when the first one came out, but honestly, I think MAC might have started it with those like little teeny tiny 9-pan palettes. I honestly don't know. So I can't say that either one of these is copying the other. I personally don't think they are. I think pastels and monochromatic looks are just the trend right now. And if you're a brand, you're gonna wanna hop on the hottest trend. So anyways, like I said, I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you enjoyed watching me ramble on about Huda and Colourpop and yada yada yada. But if you like what you saw here today, please subscribe to my channel. I post every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also follow me on Instagram at JSanchez Beauty, where I try to post little tutorials every now and then. So I'm sure you'll be seeing both the Colourpop and the Huda Beauty palettes in those tutorials, because I love working with all eyeshadow palettes. Also, let me know if you enjoyed this style of video. I'm really thinking that I'm going to start maybe like a makeup duel type series on my channel where I compare two products that are pretty similar and can definitely be compared to each other and see how similar they really are and which one might be more worth it than the other. So let me know if that's something that might be interesting. I've got a couple ideas in mind of products that I want to do, so maybe I'll just do it anyways. I don't know. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I really hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you back soon. Bye.